Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Good evening for most of you. Good afternoon. Good evening. It's good morning here. George Aitken, good to see you. Michael Schaefer, Epic Badger, Jody, how are you? Robert Chattel, Kieran Ball, Bobby L. Collins, Sean Bailey. How is everyone? How's the stream looking? So I did a test the other day and we have figured out the HD issues, I believe. Unless anything goes wrong, please let me know in the chat because I don't want to sit here watching myself, waiting for the screen to freeze. We've got a fun live stream for you today, guys. We're talking about the Kenner Empire Strikes Back toys, but specifically the toys from Hoth. We've also got a number of parcels to open. I've got one from Jody. We've got a very large box here from George Aitken. And something that turned up last minute yesterday, I've got a small parcel here from Greg Hughes, the designer of the Action Man Space Rangers from Palatoy. So very interesting to see what's going on there. Jody, Wampa, Wampa, Wampa. Hi, Alan Dawson, how are you? Bob B. Scuba Pete, Peter Ang, how you going, guys? Everyone hear me okay? All sounds good? Jody is asking what the issue was. Well, I think part of it was the frame rate per second, but I tried to fix that before. But basically, I was running the stream through an HD webcam, which I wasn't too keen on that webcam anyway. It's really overexposed, and there's no way to adjust that. But basically, I went out and purchased a video capture card to run the stream directly through my Sony 4K camera, and it works good. I did a test the other day, a quite impromptu test, I think on Tuesday, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and it went really well. Damien Horsfall, Canada says hello. Well, so does Australia, mate. Greetings from Ecuador. How are you? Knight of Ren, good evening from Tennessee. Timothy Ward, thank you very much. It sounds great and looks great. Awesome. We're getting there. We're getting there. Modern technology. Yeah, digital technology on the analog channel. I suppose just before we start, guys, I want to quickly speak about my brain's not working. The Hasbro Pulse Fan Friday for G.I. Joe. I think let's just get this out of the way straight away. Has everyone seen the second wave of 6-inch Joes that are coming out? I'm keen to hear your opinions. Thanks, Jody. He says he loves the on-screen logo. It's up there. Yeah. I'm going to try and do some fancy stuff in the stream. I'll get better as we go along. Yeah, did everyone see the new wave of 6-inch release G.I. Joes? Yeah. I was not a fan of the first lot that got announced. I thought Snake Eyes was very good, but the first one I saw was obviously the deluxe one, which a friend in the States has pre-ordered, and we were supposed to get it, I think, first week of July. It's now been pushed back to August, but I'm not too concerned. But I was really disappointed with the others. I didn't like Duke, Roadblock, or Scarlet. Destro didn't look too bad. Cobra Commander looked okay. Now we get a second wave. Now we've got the Pimp Daddy Destro, whatever they call it. Although it does kind of look okay, I suppose. I think in my mind that is just Hasbro cheaping out. G.I. Joe has such a vast array of different characters, and all they've done is just recolored one that they've already made to to save money, basically. They're just pushing out another product and trying to save money. I didn't like the Red Ninja, like the robotic look to it, and Storm Shadow as well. I've seen some photos going around on the net of the new Storm Shadow. Don't like it at all. That's just me, guys. I'm not trying to be all negative. Boba Fett says they look dreadful. The latest look like crap. Yep, I agree. Pony Daddy Destro, yeah. Mr. Lurch's thing says Gun-Ho looks awesome. Gun-Ho was the one figure in the line that I did like. He does look good, Gun-Ho. Although I have a couple of issues. So Gun-Ho is a US Marine. I couldn't quite make out the tattoo on his chest. He still has a tattoo on his chest, but it certainly does not look any longer like it's the Marine Corps logo, which I think is a bit odd. I need to get a better look at it. I could be wrong. But also his hat. You know, the US Marines wear a very distinctive... the way their field caps are tailored. I'm sure they've got a special name. I don't know what the US Marines hats are actually called, but and they've kind of gone away from it. But certainly I do agree with you there, Mr. Lurch, that Gun-Ho did look good. But anyway, this is a Star Wars Hoth live stream, so enough about the new G.I. Joes. I don't know, I might make a video later today about it. Nah, probably not. Alan Dawson says, according to his Facebook, it is Bob Breakin's birthday tomorrow. So let's everybody in the chat wish Bob Breakin a very, very happy birthday. I will send him a private message. It won't be tomorrow. It'll be later today for me. But happy birthday, Bob, if you're watching. Sean Bailey, Hasbro and Kenner have lost touch with kids. Yeah, well, I think they're actually aiming at adult collectors now, and I think they've kind of lost touch with that as well. So, Roger Miller's asking if I'm thinking about collecting the Star Wars Black Series figures. So I did a video recently where I picked up 4 of them. I am not going to start collecting Black Series. Everybody warned me. Probably not before the video, but after the video, a lot of people in the comments were warning me. They're like, you know, the Star Wars Black Series, it becomes quite an addiction, and maybe it is, because I've now decided. I discussed in that video that I was not unimpressed with the Leia figure. I would have preferred a Bespin Escape Leia. Then everybody told me that there was one available from a couple of years ago, so I purchased that on eBay. Then I decided that I wanted to get like a group of Bespin figures, and because I've got Yoda and he wasn't on Bespin, I was like, well, let's get the Dagobah series. So I've ordered the R2, and then yesterday I went and ordered Lando. So that sounds like I'm collecting Black Series, doesn't it? But all I'm really looking to do is get a core group of characters from The Empire Strikes Back. I will probably expand on that. I'd like to get the Chewie and C-3PO in the backpack, the Amazon exclusive. And I think I'll be getting the upcoming Darth Vader, and then maybe a Boba Fett and a Stormtrooper. Listen to me. I do sound like I'm collecting Star Wars Black Series now, eh? Mr. Lurch's thing says, speaking of Hoth, the new Black Series Hoth Rebel Trooper looks good. Okay, I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to check that out. Boba Stew, no apologies for being late, my man. We're only just getting started here. That American Kid, how much would a Kenner AT-AT be if resold? A vintage one, in good condition with the chin guns, working electronics. I don't know. I don't like to give toy valuations. I have a number of people often reach out to me on Facebook asking me to give them values on things. I'm not that guy. I don't want to get into that whole valuation thing because I've always said that collecting toys is not about money for me, and I also don't want to steer people wrong. I used to be very up to speed with the prices of Action Man stuff, but I haven't really picked up any Action Man stuff in a long time now, and toy prices fluctuate so much that I have no idea what Action Man stuff is worth anymore. So, excuse me. For those of you who know, I was quite unwell last week. I'm feeling a lot better, but I do still have a slight cough. So if I cough throughout the live stream, I apologise. Yeah, Mr. Lurch is saying that he started out with the black. I think he's talking about the Black Series here by picking up Boba Fett, and then all he wanted was the Bounty Hunters, and then it all went downhill. Well, I can remember going into an awesome toy shop when I used to live in Thailand. I think it was a Toys R Us, not a huge Toys R Us, but it was in a big shopping mall. This would have been not long after The Force Awakens came out. And I actually picked up a number of Black Series figures then, and I got a Boba Fett. I got that white prototype Boba Fett as well. I picked up a number of them. I know I had quite a few of the Bounty Hunters. I know I had Bosk, and I'm not sure. I think I had a few of the Force Awakens ones, but they all ended up getting sold off at a toy show down in Perth. Chris Miwa, good to see you. Hey everyone, good to see you feeling better, Tony. Always cracking on. Cool setup. Thank you very much. I obviously couldn't get everything onto the table here. I've got some toys sitting down beside me, but I just wanted to talk to you kind of through my Empire Strikes Back Hoth collection. It's not complete. I don't have all of the Hoth toys. I've got I believe I have most of the figures from Hoth. So you can see here the Imperial attack base. I've populated it with Rebel troops because, let's be honest, it should be a Rebel trench. So I've got a couple of the Rebel troopers in there. I've got the Hoth Luke Skywalker, the Rebel Commander, whatever his name is, Hoth Han Solo. I do have a Hoth Leia figure, but it's a real beater. It's in very poor condition. I need to reacquire one of those. As a matter of fact, I might jump on eBay straight after this stream. I've got the Tauntaun here. This is the fixed belly Tauntaun. When I was a kid, I had the open belly Tauntaun, so I'm looking to get the variation of that particular figure. FX7, I think it is. I've got the medical droid. I've got one of the mini rigs here. This is the radar dish that blows up. We might blow that up later on. Obviously the snow speeder. Then from the Imperials, the AT-AT driver, the AT-AT commander, a couple of the Imperial snow troopers. I've got the Wampa, I've got the Scout Walker, my Scout Walker. I probably should have got the box out here. When I picked this up, I got it in the box. Actually, this was a gift, I think, for my wife. I don't remember now. I think it was a gift for my wife for one of my birthdays. But when I had this when I was a kid, it came in the Empire box with the snow scene photo on the box. So when I was looking to reacquire it, that was the box I wanted to get it in. You guys can't quite see that, can you? Yeah, that's better. Let's get the Scout Walker into frame. And beyond what's on the table, I've got an AT-AT down here. I've got the Rebel Troop Transport. So I think missing from my collection, barring obviously a number of mini rigs, I need to get a decent Hoth Leia. The turret and probot set is something that I require. I'm really not interested in getting either of the cardboard play sets from Hoth. And so yeah, Hoth Leia, the turret and probot play set. And I think that's it. Oh, and obviously the open belly Tauntaun. If there's anything else, guys, shout it out. If there's anything else I'm missing, let me know. Let's catch up with some comments. Yes, George Aitken, the Imperial Attack Base should have been called the Rebel Defence Base. Yeah, or the Rebel Trenches. Cool playset, though. I do like it. Rob the Timekeeper, he had all of the Hoth micro toys as a kid. They were awesome. I never saw any of the micro toys when I was a child. I was not aware of them. for a long, long time and really didn't know much about them until Retro Blasting did that cool video on their on the whole like micro collection. Very, very cool. I would love to see an upscaled Bespin World playset. That would be incredible. Like, just take that micro collection set and blow it up to suit 3-in-3. Not blow it up like explode it. Like, enlarge the scale of it so it fits the 3-3/4 inch figures that we all love. Punisher XX is asking what I think of the new Black Series Snowspeeder. I only had a look at it for the first time yesterday. I wasn't aware of it. I really don't keep up to speed too much with modern toy releases, says the guy who started the stream talking about Hasbro Pulse's G.I. Joe Fan Friday. But when it comes to G.I. Joe, that stuff it was all over Facebook this morning. I couldn't avoid it. I really don't keep up to speed with modern toys. And it wasn't until someone mentioned it to me the other day about the 6-inch Snowspeeder. It looks nice, but it's certainly not something I'm going to collect. As I said, I just want to get the main characters from my favourite film, The Empire Strikes Back, build a bit of a display, and then hopefully stop there. Plenty of other vintage toys for me to buy. Brian Dillingham's asking if I have the Vehicle Energizer. No, I don't have the Vehicle Energizer. This is the only mini rig type set that I have from Hoth. I do need the Vehicle Energizer. There's also the I don't remember what they call it, but the laser cannon on the tripod for the Imperial Snowtroopers. That's a pretty cool little mini rig, actually. I would really like to get that. Just a kid from Brooklyn. He loves 2-1B. Yeah, so do I. It's a very nicely sculpted figure. Probably my favourite figure from all of Hoth is the AT-AT driver. There's just something about the sculpting of the figure, the helmet design. Obviously, a lot of it attributed to the way they designed the costume in the movie, but just a really, really cool figure. And I'm just having a look in my AT-AT there. I've got another one laying around somewhere, so I can put 2 of them in the cockpit of the AT-AT, but Octave Fuzz is saying, somebody please send Tony the Black Series Snowspeeder. Oh, no, please don't. I mean, if I got it, I would certainly do a review, but I think the more Black Series that comes in, probably the more I'm going to want, and I need to save my money for vintage toys, guys. Vintage toys aren't cheap. Buying all this modern stuff, it means I'm missing out on some vintage toys that crop up from time to time. George Aitken says he's got the modern E-Wing cannon that came with the ATST set. The E-Wing, I'm not even sure what the E-Wing cannon is. Yes, Michael Schaefer, the Imperial Snowtrooper is very, very cool. Roger Miller, yes, we're on Facebook. Just search Analog Toys on Facebook and you can look up the channel page there. We have a Twitter account that I don't really use. I'm not on Instagram, or not. I don't. Analog Toys is not on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, not that I post anything on there. But basically, social media for this channel consists of the main platform of YouTube. We're on Facebook and we're on Patreon. Michael Schaefer says 6-inch take up a lot of shelf space. Yeah, just toys in general take up shelf space. Here in the studio, I used to have behind the camera where you guys are, I used to have a small table there, and on that table I would have like battery chargers for the camera and microphones and things like that. And I was struggling to fit everything into the collection the other day. I'm struggling to fit things into storage, and I'm buying new bits and pieces of equipment for the studio as well. I've now bought a big, 4-tier industrial shelf. The top 3 shelves are now covered in additional toys. I've got my DeLorean time machines up there, and a few other bits and pieces. The Black Series are up there in front of me right now. The collection's expanding. It's now spread into. Excuse me, I burped. It's now spread into the studio as well. So, oh, cool, George. It's the cannon from The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I thought it was. I just didn't know its official name. To me, it's just the tripod-mounted laser cannon. I just go back to military terminology when I don't know. Gaz is saying, looking at the Snowspeeder reminds me of the fun we had playing with, but also reminds me of the Buck Rogers Starfighter. Have you seen Retro Blasting's current review of the fan-made one? Yes, I have, and that is an impressive toy. I'm very tempted to actually pick one up. I might reach out to the maker, and I suppose what's probably putting me off is that I know that postage costs from the States to Australia might be expensive, but we'll see. John Kenny says that the actor who played the Wampa was 6'10" and nearly died of heat exhaustion. Wow. I assume because the costume was so hot. George, slightly your fault on the collection. I'm more than happy with your inspiration, George, because I'm very, very pleased that I have not only started collecting Action Force, but certainly getting close to completing the 83, 84. Well, I have completed it. There's a few things that haven't arrived yet, but I've purchased everything I need. So, yes, Jody, we can call the Buck Rogers that vehicle. We can call it the Thunderfighter just for you. It's not the Starfighter. Logan W says, what do I think of the new HasLab project? What do I think the new HasLab project is going to be? I think it's going to be an AT-AT. I have no idea. I didn't know there was another HasLab project coming up. Mr. Lurch, his last Starfighter figures shipped. There is... For those of you who aren't aware, there's a collectible toy store in Melbourne, in Australia, who have done a very, very limited run of 3 3/4 inch Last Starfighter action figures. They look very, very cool. They come on retro style card backs. It's a very limited run, and I'm very pleased that you were able to pick them up, Mr. Lurch, because I know how much you like that movie. So. George Aitkins telling Logan that they already did the AT-AT. Yeah, but George, I think what Logan is saying that they might do a super deluxe AT-AT as part of a HasLab, the crowdfunding projects that they do. That American kid is asking... You said when talking about your social media, do you have more members on your channel? I'm not sure what you mean. I have way more subscribers on YouTube than I do have followers on Facebook. So, yes, Timothy Ward, these Last Starfighter figures are amazing. I spoke to Michael French at Retro Blasting about it, because I actually believe that one of the guys who works in this collectible toy shop is an old online friend of his from... he bumped into him in the trip to Melbourne when he was in the toy show, and he bumped into this friend who they used to speak online around Indiana Jones costuming and stuff. So, yes, we're serious about the Last Starfighter figures, but it is a very, very limited run. I think maybe only 100, and don't quote me on this, but I do possibly believe that they're only shipping to people in Australia, not overseas. I don't know. There was like 3 or 4 figures, 3 3/4 inch figures, retro style card backs that looked super good. Yeah. I was very tempted, but I'm tied up in a number of other purchases at the moment. I accidentally yesterday I submitted a there was a Fisher Price Adventure People item on Facebook Oh my God, my brain's not working. There was a Fisher-Price Adventure People item on eBay that I was looking at yesterday. It was one that I had when I was a kid. I've recently picked up something from my childhood, and then I decided, oh, look, I wanted to get another Fisher-Price Adventure People item, the two that I really remember having when I was a kid. So it was in Europe somewhere, and it was a buy it now with, make an offer. I submitted an offer. I woke up this morning to find the offer had been accepted, went in to pay for it, and then discovered that postage was 30 euros more than the actual item. The item was like 55 euros. That was the offer I made and was accepted. And shipping was 85 euros. I was like, well, I normally I check all this kind of thing. I'd made a mistake, so I've reached out to the seller and said, look, you've either got to find a cheaper way of shipping this, or you're going to have to cancel the order because I'm not paying 85 euros to ship a small toy. Yes, Michael Schaefer, the Legacy AT-AT was big enough. Gaz, it's a shame that the movie The Last Fighter didn't actually have a toy line. Yes, and so I probably never even considered that when I did my top 10 video around retro properties to never get a decent toy line, or to never get a toy line back in the day. I probably should have put The Last Starfighter on that list. Didn't occur to me at the time I was coming up with the list and writing the script, so there you go. King Eric the Great the First. My mum still has my old camping Fisher-Price Adventure People set. Yeah, I've mentioned in a number of videos and live streams and things over the lifetime of this channel that the first toy I ever remember having, owning, loving was the Fisher-Price Aero Marine Search Team set. I've recently acquired it, and if you're on Patreon, you've already got a bit of a look at this. I did a Patreon exclusive sort of sneak peek at this toy yesterday. And also for the patrons, in that message I said to you guys you'd get a video this week. I'm actually going to hold off because I want to acquire this other piece that I bid too much on yesterday. Or not, I didn't bid too much on the item, but I didn't realise how much the postage was. But I'm going to try and work with the seller and see if there's another way he can ship it, or maybe I'll get a different one or something. But that video is actually, I'm going to delay that. I don't want it to go ahead until I get this other piece that I had from childhood. So Hoth playset is the greatest playset in my opinion. Which one, Sean? Are you talking about this one? Because they did a number of playsets for Hoth. Or are you just talking about the collection of toys in general? Carlos, thank you very much. He says he loves the channel all the way from Texas. Do you think the Empire Strikes Back period had the best toys from Kenner? It definitely had some of the best. I think a lot of us fans tend to gravitate towards the Empire toys because it's linked to what most people believe is the best film in the trilogy. I think it's one of the best movies of all time, let alone being far and away the best Star Wars movie. But I still think that Return of the Jedi had some really cool toys as well. I love the Rancor monster. I think that's fantastic. The Y-Wing fighter is incredible. I'd love to acquire one of those. I don't have that in my collection. Just in general, the Kenner Star Wars toy line is one of the best toy lines ever made, hands down. So, Kieran Ball, Tony, I'm having the same problems finding Big Jim figures online as the postage charges from Germany are very high. Yeah. Yes, they are. Bob B, he really hates the new Hasbro carbon freezing chamber. I'm going to be talking about that in an upcoming video. The video's not going to be specifically about that toy. I'll kind of announce that video soon, not right now. As soon as in later in this live stream, but not right this moment. But I am going to talk about that carbon freeze chamber in this video that I'll probably film later today. So George Aitken would love a Y-Wing myself. Yes, I would love a Y-Wing. I nearly purchased one the other day on eBay, and I'm glad I checked. It was missing the bomb. So when I saw the price, I was like, that's not a bad. It was a buy it now price. I thought, yeah, that's pretty good. And looked in good condition, and then yeah, of course the bomb's missing. So as a lot of them are. Yes, Night of Ren, The Empire Strikes Back does rock. Yeah, as I said, for me, it's definitely the best. Definitely the best Star Wars movie, but also up there with being one of the best movies in general of all time. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. What's going on here? Retro Blasting just shared. Awesome. Their next live stream is A-Team. I'm going to be tuning in for that. There you go. You heard it here first, folks. Well, unless you're on their Patreon, which I am. Yes, Jody, you'll hear my thoughts on the Hasbro Carbon Freeze Chamber soon. The Empire Strikes Back has the most scenes of the Millennium Falcon. I'd never thought about that before, but yeah, I think it does. It's just a cool movie, man. I might sit down and watch it on Blu-ray later today. King Eric the Great the First. Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you very much. I'm feeling much better. Still got a slight cough. Retro Blasting is in the chat. Good to see. Literally, my phone just blew up, Michael, and picked it up, and I saw an email, and I just announced your live stream for you. A-Team, very, very cool. Looking forward to it. I'm assuming, being Retro Blasting, you're going to talk about the show and the toys. I'm getting ready to laugh when you talk about the toys, my man. Empire is the simplest movie to make an asteroid playset. Just leave a shoe and a potato around it. Yeah. They weren't all potatoes. Some of those asteroids were actual models. So I think the ones in the background were the potatoes. How much did an AT-AT cost in the 80s? I have no idea. Lord Sadism. Nice name. He was saying that they were around 32 to 35 pounds. Cool. King Eric the Great the First. Jar Jar Binks versus a Wampa. Who wins? The Wampa. I want to see a Wampa versus a Wookiee. That's I want to see that. There's some fan fiction for you right there. A Wampa versus a Wookiee. I don't know what to do with this display here. Something I want to show you guys. So my Imperial attack base, I actually get this out of storage today because I don't have room to display this. It's too long to fit into a Detolf. If I stick it on the top of the Detolf, it doesn't look very good because you kind of can't see down into it. So this one just stays in storage. But what I really like about this one, hopefully you're going to see this. Can you guys... If you can see there, this is made in Australia by General Mills Creative Products. This is a rare Australian edition box. It's not a Toll Toys, which a lot of Star Wars toys in Australia were sold by Toll Toys. This is a Kenner, but made in Australia by General Mills box. Let me know if you can actually see the writing there. My screen's too small. Yes, Sean Bailey, I have the box. I have the, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I have the box for the Scout Walker as well, and it has got the way I had it as a kid, it's got the snow-themed photograph on it. I also, one of my favourite boxes, the Rebel Armoured Snowspeeder. Very, very cool. There were two different types of these boxes. I think there was another one with a pink background rather than a blue. I don't know if one's rarer than the other, but I like it. I like it a lot. I've got a box for the ATAD as well, but it's pretty beat up. Like I think the top right corner's quite crushed. So yes, box art was so good back then. I'm a particular fan of Action Man box art, which is actual artwork, but I also really like the Kenner designs where you actually get a photograph of the real toy rather than an artist's impression of the toy. But just the whole, the way the logos, both the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back logo, the Kenner logo, the silver frame, I think they call it like racetrack piping. Yeah, very cool. The old Sears Wish book scans can be found online. It's fun to browse all the old toy ads. Yes, it is. Zebras Are Crazy saying that he's still got his ADA and it's boxed as well. Needs to dig it out of storage. Yeah, I used to have the box on. I used to have all the boxes on display, but I was running out of room. So now all of my big toy boxes have gone into storage, or certainly my Star Wars ones, and I've got the toys out. I've got a really nice box for the Kenner Death Star from the first film. It's a really nice box, and I do particularly like that box. It's very, very early. It's in fantastic condition, but I much prefer looking at the assembled Death Star rather than the box. So the boxes had to go into storage because I just don't have the room for it all. Neil Fairbrother just logged in from the UK. Good to see you. Sean Bailey saying the box was something we as kids would stare at more than the toy. Yes, absolutely. Michael Schaefer, the boxes and card backs were how we made plans for the future. Yeah, definitely. And speaking of card backs, all right, I'm going to make my next video announcement now. So when I spoke a little bit before around some people were asking me about the carbon freeze chamber, I'm not going to divulge my thoughts here. I'm going to talk about that in a video that I'm going to film later today. Which is not going to be about the carbon freeze chamber, but I am going to discuss it. I have here from Stan Solo, who is Chris Smith, the former owner of Smith Lord Creations, now Stan Solo. I've had some droids figures from him, and this particular one, K3PO, I thought I would bring this one down because it's a Hoth themed figure. So it's a recoloured C3PO figure. It looks very, very nice. And as who is it? Michael Schaefer was saying how you make plans for the future. Yeah, on the back there you've got all the different figures, and when we were kids we'd cross off the ones we had and always keep a spare card back around so we could keep track of the figures that we didn't have. So this is a very, very nice. I've got a loose one as well, and I've got a few other variations of these and the astromech droids from Stan Solo. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a video about these after the live stream, and in that video I am going to discuss a bit about my thoughts of the Hasbro Carbon Freeze Chamber. Yes, that K3PO is nice. Really cool card back too, guys. Look at that. Very, very nice. Chris Smith always does a good job with his products. I'm very, 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 very impressed with this. And there's some other ones that you're going to see in that video, which I'm filming today. So probably Patreon. I'd like the Patreons to have it before the end of the weekend, and everyone else on YouTube probably Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Speaking of upcoming videos, guys, the patrons have already had the opportunity to see this, But for the rest of you, I've got a new video that's dropping in about 10 hours or something like that. Masters of the Universe, 1983. The Collector's Guide to 1983. So I just finished that yesterday. Uploaded it to Patreon last night, so around 6 o'clock. So yeah, in about 10 hours from now, something like that, it's going to go live on YouTube for everyone else to see. Yes, Michael Schaefer, they are 10 times better than the Retro Collection card backs, that's for sure. Mr. Lurch says he's never owned a full-size AT-AT. Might have to try and do something about that. Yeah, the AT-AT is a good toy. I've got one down here. Gaz feels like he can take on the entire Empire himself. Well done. Nice, yeah. All right, let's see if I can move some of this stuff out of the way. I've got some other Hoth toys to talk about. I loved the Torn when I was a kid, but yeah, as I said, this is solid belly. I need to get the open belly because that's the one I had when I was a child. Let's move a few of these guys around. Oops. Who wants to see this blow up? I do. That was pretty boring, wasn't it? Doesn't blow apart very well. Right, something that I think is an incredibly underrated toy, incredibly underrated, the Rebel Troop Transport. People don't like this toy and I love it. I don't understand what people don't like. So much play value. Pilot's area, you've got the gunner's platform in the back. Dropping everything here. How could you not love this toy, man? This is so cool. I'm a big fan of the Rebel Troop Transport, even if a lot of other people aren't. So, get that out of the way. The AT-AT. Stuart Forbes, he wanted the AT-AT as a kid, but for some reason, it never ended up with the Millennium Falcon. Never got over that until my wife bought me an AT-AT on eBay. Yes, Scuba Pete, I have the escape hatch for the Rebel Troop Transport. I picked up that toy when I was in England a couple of years ago. Found it for a bargain price at a car boot sale. Couldn't believe it had the escape hatch with it. Impressive toy, very, very cool. Everyone loves a good AT-AT. No Star Wars collection's really complete without one of these, is it? Yeah. An AT-AT and a Snowspeeder, you can't go wrong. Yes, the mother of all vehicles, George Aitken, that's right. The USS flag is much bigger than the AT-AT, but it's a playset, not a vehicle, and an enormous playset at that. The Legacy Collection AT-AT is great too, might be better than the vintage. Okay, I've never seen one up close. I've seen them in videos and online and that kind of thing, but I'm not going to be getting a Legacy Collection AT-AT or a Legacy Collection Millennium Falcon. I like the vintage too much. All right, shall we move on to the mail? Shall we get some of this mail out? Because I'm pretty keen to open some of this stuff that we have here. All right, first of all, we got a parcel here from, have a guess, Jody. Excuse my sniffing, and still just getting over a cold. So, is there a harpoon in the speeder to trip up the AT-AT? Yes, there is. All right, what have we got here from Jody? I didn't know this was actually from Jody when it arrived until he messaged me, because it's come from the UK. So I'm assuming this is something that you've picked up online and just had sent straight to me. Is that right, Jody? What on earth? Oh, cool. Thank you, Jody. This is, there's a small note here. It says, Dear Tony, a small addition to your Transformers collection from Jody. The world's smallest Dinobots. And he sent me, yeah, it's slag, isn't it? The Triceratops. That's the one Transformer I had as a kid beyond Optimus Prime and Megatron. I've got to get this thing out. This is cool. Wow, dude, this is impressive. Who makes these things? Just Toys. Is this licensed by Hasbro, or what on earth is this? This is really cool, Jody. Really cool. Damn, it's a miniature recreation of the real Transformer. Look at that. How awesome is that? I love it, Jody. I love it. Thank you very much. It's not staying in the box, though. I'm getting, after the stream, I'm going to get all the stickers onto this thing, and it's going into the collection display. No worries, Michael. All good. I'll catch up with you soon. I'm probably going to miss your live stream tomorrow because it's way too early for me, but I'll definitely catch the replay, man. You have a good evening there. Yes, Jody. So when I was a kid with Transformers, I had Optimus Prime and Megatron. And then when the Dinobots kind of hit big, I think I kind of got swept up in all of the excitement around it. You know, all the other kids in school were into them, and this was the one Transformer that I got and really, really liked. I only had 3 Transformers when I was a kid: Optimus Prime, Megatron, and then however many years later it was, I acquired this. So you've just replaced a childhood toy, Jody, and I really appreciate that. This thing is nice, man. Really nice. He almost looks like the AT-AT driver's pet there. That might be where he now gets displayed, look. The AT-AT driver and his pet. All right. Damien Vesti, thank you very much for the super chat. Are fan-made toys legal? How is it they're not getting sued? I don't know why they're not getting sued. I certainly don't want them to, because they're making the toys that we really want, and Hasbro is giving us garbage like the freeze chamber. So I'm glad someone's making the toys that we want. The Attack Kenner toy is so damn cool. Also, Megatron is the GOAT. Yeah. Rich Hawkins, I think they did a World's Smallest Action Man 2. Saw one in Tesco back at Christmas. Yeah, and I couldn't understand the idea behind that. This is really cool. Actually, seeing it here with 3 3/4 inch scaled figures, it looks awesome. It's a 3 3/4 inch scaled Transformer. Scale's always been an issue with Transformers, but maybe this is the size they actually should have made them, where they could intermingle with your Star Wars characters or whoever it was. So, all right, we've got another one here. This is from former Palitoid toy designer Greg Hughes. I'm assuming it's paperwork of some sort. It's a flat parcel. I'll be very careful opening this. Oh, cool. I have a letter here from Greg Hughes. Hi Tony, sorry for the delay, but please find the ROM leaflet and others that I drew. You would have got these eventually, so I did the lot. Unfortunately, the ROM one is on a samples board that I used as a sample in my interview folio, so the other side of the storyboard was unprintable. Some were subcontracted to Dave Barnacle, who subbed them to me. Wow, I've got copies here of a ton of Greg Hughes' original art. And that, the Action Man ROM, the Space Knight instructions. The Solar Mission comic for the Solar Hurricane. The instructions for the Solar Hurricane. Man, there's tons here. Greg, thank you so much. This is awesome. This is the comic for the Electronic Command Center. And what would have been on the backside, the sort of instruction sheet. And this, I believe, is not a copy. This is original. We have here the comic and the instructions for the Action Man airstrike helicopter. Wow. The armored Jeep. The space speeder. We have the ground assault here, the underwater assault. Whoa. Underwater assault. I think there's maybe 2 different versions here. Some of the SAS, the night attack. And an Action Force one. The AF-3 Special Patrol Vehicle. Look at that beautiful comic artwork from Greg Hughes. That is awesome. Oh, great. If you're watching, thank you very, very much. I have a large collection of various paperwork, instructions, and leaflets. And the majority of these I don't have. There are a couple there that I have. I certainly have the SAS Night Attack one in there, so that's really cool. Thank you very, very much, Greg. Jody, thank you for the super chat. Justy Toys did get shut down by Hasbro. Any vendors selling them would get sued by Hasbro. Sad, very sad. All right, and that's the company that made these, is it? Yeah, okay. And Scuba Pete, thank you for the super chat as well. Fantastic paperwork. Yeah, guys, I will put some images of these up on the Facebook page after the live stream. George Aitkins, you might be in for a link to that artwork. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Boba Stewie saying Palatoy employees continue to outshine Hasbro with fan community contribution. Absolutely. They do. All right, guys. We have one more box left, and it is from my good buddy George Aitken. And this is a big box, but I'll say up front, and heavy, that from what George has told me, some of the stuff in here is for me, and some of this stuff is for retroblasting. The reason he sent stuff for retroblasting to me is we want to send a combined parcel to retroblasting. So hopefully when I open this, I don't want to reveal the retroblasting stuff. I want to save that for their live stream. It's their gift, and it should be their pleasure to open it on their live stream. So hopefully when we get this open, I'm sorry, George, I had your address on there. Hopefully no one can see that. Sorry, George. Let's hide George's address. Yes, Robert, apologies for that. I didn't realise there was an address on it. Very, very sorry, George. Yeah, people might send you stuff. I'm going to have to send you something one day, George. Okay, I don't know which way up to open this box. We'll just see how we go. Okay, it's the right way up because there's a letter in the top. Oh, it's got that smell of vintage toy in there. Keith Holmesley, what's up, brother? How you doing? Okay, we got a letter from George. Hi, Tony. George from Glasgow here. Well done on reaching 20,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, George. We're very, very close to 22,000 now. I have sent you some things to help. I've sent you some things to help with your videos and some things to send to Michael at Retroblasting. Please note the missiles on the Z-Force Dart are very fragile. Looking forward to more videos. George, is there a Z-Force Dart in here? Wow. Wow. It's a box of Action Force. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. It's the German Stormtrooper from the first series. Now, a lot of you guys would know that if you've watched my Kenner Indiana Jones video, an Action Force German Stormtrooper appeared in that. But he was incomplete. I don't have a complete one. Because he comes with some very small... And I don't know how well you're going to see this, guys. Entrenching tool and potato masher stick grenades. Thank you very much, George. One of my favourite figures. And I've now got it complete. Thank you very, very much. I don't even know where to start. Whoa. We have here the boat that goes on the roof of the I can't remember which Action Force number it is. All the first series Action Force vehicles were like AF3, AF9. I don't remember which one's which. But that is the roof of the first series Jeep that turns over into a small patrol boat. Awesome, we got a Masters of the Universe. I want to say that's Webstore's laser rifle there. We got some accessories. This is one item that I did know George was sending me. This is the battery cover for the Z-Force main battle tank, which I have down here because I knew George was sending this. So once I get the box out of the way, we'll get some batteries in the battle tank and we'll get it moving, hopefully. I don't even know if it works. I've never been able to test it without the battery cover because some of the terminals you need, the terminals to connect the batteries, are actually on part of the cover as well. So it's not as though you can just tape them in there and hopefully it works. Oh, we got more Masters of the Universe bits here. So we got the claw or the pinchers from Trapjaw. Very interesting that I was actually filming my Trapjaw yesterday for the Motu video. Okay, so we've got the outboard motor for the boat. We've got the paddle. Very cool. We've got the laser cannon that I think goes there. George, thank you very much. A pair of binoculars, which I believe are Murdoch's from the A-Team. There's all sorts in here, George. These, I have no idea. Can anyone tell me, have you seen that? What the hell that is? I've got no idea what that is. Epic Badger says he doesn't want to watch this unboxing because it might make him buy more Action Force, but I have to watch because I love Action Force. Either way, Tony's a winner. Thanks very much, man. Very cool. We've got a Q-Force Aqua Trooper complete. And just in time too, because I'm very close to starting production on Action Force Part 4 on the Q-Force. There's some more bits here. What have we got? Oh, we got Trapjaw's laser cannon as well. Very nice. And a part of the Q-Force swordfish there. And this... Oh, George, thank you. This is sort of the main body, the main hull of the Q-Force swordfish. I have this toy, but I have the German version where the toy is identical, but all the stickers are different. So now, thanks to this very kind donation from George, I'm going to be able to switch out the parts and actually have the proper UK release Q-Force one rather than the German issue where all the stickers are different. Thank you very much, George. Oh. No way! George! It's the AF3. So this boat roof is to this. Man. Thank you, George. I was not expecting this. So I've got the Z-Force version that came out the following year and was recoloured in the Z-Force camouflage. But the Z-Force one didn't come with the roof. So I think that's what this must be for. This is the antenna. Oh, very, very cool. Look at that. The AF3. Damn. George, you're a legend. The boat comes with something else. Yeah. No shit. Sorry for my swearing. Werewolf by lunchtime. Hi, Tony. Where's the best place to buy toys in Perth? You can go to a place called Collector Zone Comics and Collectibles up in Clarkson. It's run by my friend Chris. He's got a really cool shop up there in Clarkson, which I think is it's open about 6 days a week. If you haven't been there, there are also 2 different toy shows in Perth that are run like 3 or 4 times a year. I don't know what's going on with them at the moment with all the COVID restrictions. They probably haven't been able to have a show for a while, but down in Vic Park, you have the Nexus show 3 or 4 times a year in Vic Park, and then there's one at the Craigie Leisure Centre in Whitfords, which is run by the same guy who owns Collector Zone Comics and Collectibles. Beyond that, head out to Midland and go to Dr. Russell's Imaginarium, I think it's called. It's a cool old collectible antique shop, but he's got some Star Wars stuff there. If you're not into Star Wars, probably not worth the trip out to Midland. I don't think he's got other stuff, but definitely worth checking out. There you go. Jody saying, George Aitken, not sure if I saw it correctly, but that grey gun looked to me like Mask, is it? No, I don't think this is Mask, Jody. I reckon I would recognise it. I'm not sure what it is, though. Very cool. The swordfish. Oh, I'm going to have to move this. I'm running out of room here. I'm running out of room rapidly. Right, let's move the box off the table. Okay, I'm not going to accidentally open anything for retro blasting because George has put that into a separate box. There's a couple of other items here. What do we have here? Oh, it's the Z-Force Whirlwind. George. And what a coincidence. Because this is the Z-Force Whirlwind is a recoloured Hasbro G.I. Joe vehicle, which I actually think Michael at Retro Blasting got the G.I. Joe version on a live stream recently. Maybe last week even. How does this... I don't want to break this. These clips look fragile. Oh, no, easy. Where does this go? Ah. Who needs instructions, eh? The Z-Force Whirlwind. George, this is awesome. Look at that, guys. How cool is that? George, you're too good to me, man. You're too good to me. Jody, you want to get a close-up of the gun? Which gun? This one that we don't know what it is? I'm going to have to get out of my seat to show you a close-up. I don't want to step on anything or knock anything off the table. Ugh. It's like an obstacle course in here. It's like being back in the army again. Yes, George is a legend. And there's still more, guys. There's still more coming. Yes, the most modest man in the universe, George Aitken. Anthony Whitehead, I'm doing fantastic because I got an awesome little Transformer toy from Jody. I've had some amazing artwork sent to me by Greg Hughes, a former Palatoy designer, and we're most of the way through an epic gift box from George Aitken. Man, I love this AF3. This is so cool. Very, very nice. I think when I finish my five-part Action Force series, we're going to have to go back and revisit the first 1982 first wave and maybe do a video on that as well. John Kenny, yes, I do have the Q4 Surf Skier, thanks to George Aitken, which came in a previous box from him. Werewolf by lunchtime, do you think you'll get this excited about toys when you are 80? Yeah, it doesn't go away for me. I don't know what it is. That's why I'm a collector. I just love this stuff. All right, there's one last thing in here. And this is the dart, I believe, that George talked about in the letter. Oh, man. No, there's two. So these are like these mini rigs. I don't even know which one's which, George. Which one is that? One's called a lance and one's called a dart. I think that was the lance that I just showed you. And this is the dart, I believe. Yes, this must be the dart because these are the ones with the fragile missiles. Yes. Man, this is a fragile little toy, isn't it, George? I'm even scared to assemble this right now. I'm going to have to do this later, I think. Holy crap. This is amazing. These are going into the Z-Force videos. I'm just checking I haven't dropped anything in here. We're looking good. George, thank you so much, man. This Whirlwind is way better than I thought it was going to be. I've never paid too much attention to this toy. This is really, really cool. Let's see the wheels rotate down. Very similar to the Cobra Asp. Very similar mechanism, the way they fold down like that. Turn it into a Back to the Future flying Whirlwind from Z-Force. Mr. Lurch, it's tea, not coffee. It is very cold. And I can't get Grace to get me another one because she's at work this morning. Jody, thank you very much for the super chat. He's saying the Grey Gun is Mask, Venom's Revenge Adventure Pack. And there are two of those. And the two red missiles. Oh, cool. Okay. Now I know what it is. What is... There's a really small black piece here, which I think goes to the dart or the lance. Maybe the lance. The lance has got an antenna. This looks like it might be a little remote control for the figure to hold. Something like that. Excuse me. I need to study this and figure it all out. Okay, guys. That's all the mail. But before we wrap it up, we need to find out if this Z-Force battle tank actually works. So that I don't lose all the small pieces, I'm going to put them all in this bag. Let's get all the small bits and pieces in here. Okay, yeah, thanks, George. It's the remote for the Z-Force Lance. That's what I thought, yeah. Boba B, do I think Hasbro will make Slave Leia or Removable Helmet Vader for the Retro Collection? I think at the moment with the Retro Collection, they're making Empire stuff. So, I don't know. Are you talking next year, like when they go on to do Jedi? I don't know. I think a Removable Helmet Vader would be good, but... Okay, we've got all the small bits and pieces there. Man, it's going to take me so long to clean up after this live stream. Holy crap. Right, let's get this out of the way. I love this, George. I absolutely love this. Thank you very, very much indeed. Okay, and here we go. We had the Z-Force battle tank with the UK recolor of Steeler there. This is obviously a UK recolor of the Mobat. And I've got some batteries here somewhere. Now let's make sure. This is in neutral when I turn it on. Okay, how does this go? Let's get the batteries in there. Is this going to work, guys? Is this going to work? Who wants to place bets? See if this is going to work or not. Let's get Steeler in there. Needs a driver. Drum roll, please. Is this going to work? Hey! How cool is that? How awesome is that? That is so cool. Can tow around the whirlwind later on. Oh, I love it. Forward, reverse. Yes, Jody, I think the motor could use a bit of oil, but unfortunately this particular toy is held together with a couple of rivets rather than screws, and you can't get into it without damaging it, so... Oh, George, you've been a massive help, man. Thank you so much for this stuff, and I will be putting the box together for retroblasting and shipping it off first thing on Monday. So I'll send you and Michael both the tracking number so that you can keep track of when it's going to arrive at Retroblasting HQ, and so can Michael. Yeah, I'm not going to have the stream go on for another hour with me playing with the tank, Jody, but I'm probably going to play with the tank for the next hour or so because I just love this. How cool is it though? Just awesome. Awesome. Damn, I love it. Yes, I'll see if I can get some Tim Tams for Michael and Melinda as well. Yeah, playtime live stream. Oh, everyone's liking my smile, my reaction. That's cool. It's what I love about toys, you know. It just makes me feel like a kid again sometimes, and I get very excited about this stuff. Yes, Scuba Pete, I will still be out in the yard playing with it when Gracie gets home. Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't even know how long we've been going for today, guys. Well, how long is this? An hour and 20 minutes. Cool. Michael Schaefer, how many years has it been dormant? Well, this toy is from 1983. So, 37 years. God knows the last time it was used. You know, I've had it for a while without a battery cover. It's just amazing to see this thing work. So, yeah, the joy of toys. Yep, that's right, George. Z-Force tanks haven't been made since 1983. Werewolf by lunchtime. Your cats never damage any of your toys. No. They most of the toys are in glass cabinets. The ones that are on shelves, I tend to keep on shelves a bit higher than kind of where they can get to. But for some reason, although cats like to jump on tables, they don't like to jump into shelves, I find. No, they never damage any of my toys. Sometimes when I'm in here in the studio working and I have toys set up on this table and I'm filming them, I try and keep the door closed, but I'm often in and out of here a lot, running up to the collection room to grab another toy and come back down. And I'll come back down and find that one of the cats has come in here and jumped on the table, and it happened yesterday when I was filming the Masters of the Universe stuff. They knocked over. I spent ages setting up a display of the figures and realised I was missing one figure. I went to get it, came back down and realised that the cat had knocked it all over, so I had to set it all up all over again. Very annoying. George Aitkins has chased Harriet with a tank. I'm going to, man. I don't know if they're going to find this as scary as they found the attack track, but for those of you who saw me power up the attack track in that live stream, I went and showed that to the cats afterwards, and it freaked them the hell out, man. They did not like the attack track, but that thing's really fast. I wonder how they'll go with this thing slowly moving around. So, cool. Jody, I got double deckers. I think I got the name right. Yes, double deckers are my beloved chocolate. Oh, thank you very much. You just need to ship them off to me. I really appreciate that. It's been a long time since I've had a double decker, and I love them. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I've got a lot of stuff to pack up, and I want to get busy filming another video about these awesome Stan Solo droid figures. So you guys have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully I can chat to some of you if I'm up early enough to watch the Retroblasting live stream. Probably not. I think we're going to a party tonight, me and the wife, so I might not be up early tomorrow anyway. But yeah, definitely check out the Retroblasting live stream. We've got the Motu video dropping later today. There'll be another video about Stan Solo, and now I've got to go and make Q-Force as well. So Q-Force will be coming in the next couple of weeks, the Action Force Part 4 video. So loads to look forward to, and I'm going to sign off by watching the tank. So cool. Have a good weekend, guys. See you later.